Hi, I'm Defina. I'm a chef and I share recipes through online platform and as well as I'm a cookbook author.
Hi, Chef Defina. From street food to fine dining, what is the one dish that still makes you reach for your phone to take a photo?
Most of the time, I'm drawn to dishes with a strong character. So this character is referring to distinctive flavors, unique local ingredients, or even an interesting presentation. So no matter whether it's served in a fine dining restaurant or at street food stall, a dish becomes memorable when the cook stays sincere and authentic to their identity. I feel like that honesty always shines through, and those are the moments that make me want to capture and remember the dish.
Chef Defina, you are famous for sharing recipes with everyone. Is there any one dish that you think must stay difficult to keep its true taste?
I believe many things in cooking can be adapted, especially when it comes to home cooking. Because at home, I also prefer simple food. Yeah? And for example, certain herbs, textures, or ingredients can often be substituted while still preserving the essence of the dish, the profile taste, and the overall experience. But there are techniques that simply cannot be rushed, and usually it's about timing. So the process such as marinating, slow braising, or reduction require times, right? And time is very essential to develop depth of flavor and of course the authenticity of that dish. For example, in traditional dishes with a very strong culinary identities, like rendang, actually we can use thinly sliced beef to shorten the cooking process and help the spices absorb much more quickly, and the results may still taste good, but the essence, whether it's structurally and culturally, it becomes a very different dish. And some recipes carry a philosophy in the way they are cooked, and preserving that process is part of preserving their true character.
When you evaluate a dish, do you look for technical perfection or the emotional story the chef is trying to tell?
Personally, I tend to prioritize execution over the idea itself. So for me, a concept can be emotionally compelling, but without strong execution, it loses its impact. Some of the most soulful and memorable dishes ever experienced are actually very simple. For example, salt grilled seafood with a simple, refreshing dipping, or just simply char-grilled steak, steamed crab legs with butter, boiled chicken, or anything you name. Yeah, it's actually very simple, but what makes them exceptionally and highly sought after by the customers is actually the consistency behind them. We can feel the discipline, the quality of ingredients, the sourcing, and the attention to detail in every step of process that I think makes those dishes are very memorable. So when those elements come together perfectly, even the simplest dish can become unforgettable and eventually define a restaurant's identity.
This is my last question, Chef Defina. Beyond the kitchen, where do you look for inspiration when you feel a sense of culinary fatigue?
First thing comes to my mind, of course, traveling. Traveling is always my greatest source of inspiration. So there's a unique excitement for me that comes from being in a completely unfamiliar environment. Even when returning to the same destination, a different moment in time can reveal something entirely new. And also, travel reminds me of how different cultures adapt to their surroundings, how they work with available ingredients, tools, and techniques to create their own culinary identity. So by observing those details, broadens my perspective and continually refresh the way I think about food and cooking.